Okay, it's pretty common for someone who thins or fats their pitches to get it more and more steep, because logically you'd think, right, if I get it steep, I'm going to create an attack angle down on the ball, but it doesn't actually work like that. You know, the more vertical and narrow you get it going back, and then the more vertical and narrow you get it coming down, now you've got a very short period of time to try and dump that angle and what I call redirect the club. That club is steep, it's going out this way. You know, you're going to get the path across the ball too much. You're going to have to dump the angle now, which you are doing, throwing the club down onto the ball, which obviously moves the low point, creates varied spins, varied paths, varied trajectories, a mixed bag of things really. So, you know, what we're trying to do with a pitch, this is a lob shot, it's a very similar principle. You can see how the club comes from a really shallow angle, and then the ball just climbs up the face and away it goes. So we want a consistent shallow attack angle really. So how do we create that? Well, we don't create it by getting too vertical. If you watch this view of about a 40-yarder with Rory here, look, you know, the rib cage is turning, it's pretty wide, there's a little rotation of the club, and then if anything, the club's looping a little bit to the inside on the way down. So it's wide and shallow coming in, and then he can just start to play around with his spine angle and play around with the club on the way through to create different trajectories, different spins, etc., but with some consistency. So if you look at this pitching action, which is really good, I think, a little more on his heels than you are, tiny bit further away, then watch the rotation of the club. So there's a little rotation, which is what you've got to feel. You've got to feel like the right palm goes to the sky a little bit. You've got to feel like there's no hinge at all. There will be hinge, but I want you to feel like there isn't any. Get it as wide as you can, and then let that club fall. And once it's fallen and it's nice and wide and shallow coming in, just feel like those hands stay ahead and you keep the club going down the line, and then you're going to hit some nice low consistent spinning shots. The low point will move forward, etc., and you'll be back on track. Little drill you can do, just put a ball behind the ball you're hitting, and just knock it with the back of the club. You probably want to get it about half a ball inside, grip length inside, and just knock it with the back of the club. It'll eliminate this kind of pickup, and say just stand a little further away to give yourself a chance of changing the geometry of it, and just get that thing more inside, right wrist more rotated and wider, and then don't be afraid to let that thing loop a little bit, and you know, really feel that right arm staying wide as well. You know, very little hinge, very little fold in the right arm, just get it as wide as you can and keep it as wide as you can, and then it will shallow, and then the path will be a lot more down towards the target, and you'll be in business.